So what do we have here? That's kind of a funny word to say. It's called a naiad, and naiads are a mermaid myth. They're in Scotland, they're in Ireland. We actually have a couple myths here in Nova Scotia, and they don't actually have a big tail like I do. But they do have legs, but they can control water. They can change what water does, they can freeze it, they can turn it into steam. When you're in grade 1, I think you learn about gas, liquids, and solids, and that's what water can turn into, all three of those things. So the naiad can control all of that, and she's also a protector of the fresh water. So she hangs out in rivers. So maybe if you go hiking with mom and dad and you go by a river, you might see a naiad somewhere, just a pretty lady with long hair taking care of the water, taking care of all the fish and everything in it. Hi there. Thank you, very good helper. I'm gonna get your friend in the green to come up. We're gonna talk about my favorite one. You hold that up. This is Sedna, and she's my favorite. I like to hang out with Sedna, she's pretty cool. Sedna is a myth from Nunavut. Does anybody know where Nunavut is? You know where Nunavut is, the older kids know. You know up in the North Pole where Santa lives? Nunavut is way up there, up in the north where it's really freezing cold. Do you think I would be warm if I went swimming? I could swim with polar bears in the icebergs? No way, I'd be freezing, I'd be freezing. Well, Sedna, she's a mermaid from there, and she's an Inuit myth, and she went out on a boat with her dad, and they had a bit of an argument because he wanted her to marry some guy that she didn't like. And they started arguing, and she fell into the ocean, and when she fell into the ocean, she became like the queen of the ocean. And it's said that she gets to rule over all of the ocean animals. And you can see that she has very beautiful tattoos that the Inuit put on their faces. And when you look in her hair, I know it's a little hard to see back there, but she has all of the different ocean animals from the Arctic swimming in her hair. And I have a couple friends who live up in Nunavut, and they like to make carvings out of soapstone and different kinds of stones and wood, and they're always showing me beautiful carvings that they make of Sedna. She's just my favorite. If I could collect everything, I would collect all the beautiful carvings of Sedna. I'd have a great big bag and take it down to the ocean, and I'd sink because it would be so heavy, full of carvings. Thank you for your help, sweetheart. Perfect. Did I get you to introduce yourself? No? Okay, come back. What's your name? And how old are you? 10. And are you friends? You know each other? Oh, that's cool. It's so nice to come to the Multicultural Festival with your friend. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, we've got a couple more to go. My goodness, you're such good listeners. Look at you all listening so nicely. I'm going to finish telling you a few more mermaid things, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the environment, and then I've got treasures for you. You're doing such a great job. And moms and dads, when kids come up for treasures, you're more than welcome to take photos, and we'll have a little minute and they can pose. Okay, so I need someone to help me tell a Japanese myth. Who's going to help me tell a Japanese myth? Would you like to come up with the purple sweater? Oh my goodness, you're matching. Look at that. Your dress, your shoes, your beautiful hair clip. Okay, I'm going to get you to hold that, and I'm going to get you to tell me into the microphone. What's your name?
Molly.
Hi, Molly. How old are you?
4.5.
You're 4.5. So are you going to school in September? Big school? That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. But first, you're going to have a really fun summer. So Molly is showing here, this is a Japanese myth called a ningo. And she's a mermaid from Japan, and she's kind of different. So when you look at my body, what part of my body is a fish? From the waist down, right? The ningo is a fish all the way from the neck down. So when she's swimming in the water, you see this really beautiful face, but then if she swims, she's got this great big body of a fish. I think I got the better deal here. And a ningo, when fishermen would catch them in their nets, they would always have to let them go, because if they didn't let them go, the ningo would send a great big giant wave to the beach, and the wave it's called a tsunami. Have you ever heard of a tsunami before? It's like a great big giant huge wave, and it knocks down houses and everything. So they always made sure to put it back into the water. And there's lots of different ningo stories, and in some of them the ningo kind of looks a bit like a frog. So I have two different pictures here, but I think this one's kind of neat. Could you imagine if you went fishing and you pulled up your line and there's a great big red fish with a face like mine on it? Ooh, I'd definitely put it back in the water. I wouldn't want to keep that. That's crazy. Thank you, sweetheart.